Alright, here we are, the Mage. So, is it any good? What can you do with it? How should you use it? Well, let's see here. So, first things first, we are going to be rocking the whip. This time, again, it has access to 3 different weapons: the wand, the great wand, and the whip. Basically, the wand would be the super support mage. The heavy wand would be the DPS, and of course here we are on the whip, and this would be a hybrid mix and match. Does both decently well. Alright, so again, the mage is the weakest class. Defensively, it has very low HP and defense, but it has good magic and decent deafness, so the low HP will hurt it on the whip, because again it's sort of a hybrid, a little bit of physical fighter and some magic with a little bit of support. Alright, so let's get into... No, actually, let's do the proficiency. Alright, so as we can see here, there's going to be 3 different whip users. There's going to be the heroes, of course, and our dear Jessica. So these are the only whip users in the game. Since they share a weapon type, they're going to be a bit different. The cousins, of course, are treated as the same character. They're just a clone with different costumes. They're going to be different from all the goodies that our dear Jessica learns. Alright. So you're going to get 4 abilities here. You're going to start with Whip Crackle. This is a lightning attack. So with Lightning Elemental, it will stagger robots. This may or may not be a good thing, because some of the later robots charge up their lasers and really dish out the damage. Here we have Star Strike. Now, this is interesting, and it can inflict the dazzle debuff, and when enemies are dazzled, their attacks are gonna miss. So this is quite nice. It's a big AoE. If you're right up in a monster's grill and it's a large monster, this is going to do more damage than Whip Crackle. Whip Crackle is a one and done big damage move. The Star Strike, as I'll show in a bit, it's just multiple whiplashes, just all over the place. You get the idea. But if an enemy is large enough, you will hit them multiple times. Alright, so next we have Crack. It's not that type of crack, it's the other one. The one that you... Alright, this is an ice spell. So, it's ice elemental, and it can, freeze the enemies. It's, ice is sort of on the rare side. You really only have Crackle, and Crackle, and you have Crushed Ice. And then you have Twin Swords, that's ice. I mean, that's really all the ice you're going to get. The spell starts off as projectiles. You're just throwing ice shards. Then it'll get better, and then it'll just turn into a nuke. So, freezing, and you have some range options. It's compared to, let's say, Zap. You're always just going to drop lightning in front of you, and then the higher levels of that spell is just more lightnings. So the tier 1 spell is a bit different. This is a projectile, ice shards, and you work your way up to a nuke. Alright. Lastly, well, okay, we'll do this first. So you get Decelerate. So this is a large dome, and it's going to slow the enemy's movement speed. So I'm going to show that in a bit. That's why we're here in the Frosty Mountains. The enemies will still have basic movement. It's just that some of their abilities, as I'll show, will be slowed down to a great effect. Doesn't deal any damage, doesn't really weaken them, but is what it is. And the last thing, the whip can deflect spells. So, I mean, that's just something that it can do. However, we will have tools to deal with spells in its actual skill tree here. So 3 different sections. You have the mage skills. These are only going to be active when you're on the mage. Again, we're going to get some extra MP, some wisdom, which is in magic damage, and deafness. Crit, magic can crit. This stuff is pretty standard here. Everybody's going to get all this junk. The mage, of course, gets power saver 5%, power saver 10%, and passive MP regen at low HP. Again, it's really tough for the mage to do that type of build, because 1 hit and you're done. So I mean, you could do it, but if it's your first time through the game, I would say don't do this. It's going to be very frustrating. Alright, so these down here, you want to get these on each class. Again, the cousins have poor stat growth, so you're going to need these to make them on par with the other characters that you get. Again, these are only for the classes for Teresa, so these aren't bonuses for Lazaro's classes or some of the hero characters such as Cesar, Desdemona. Alright, spells and abilities. So 3 weapon types, you're going to get 3 spells. We've already done these 2 down here. So innate to the mage is Kazap. You can use these with any weapon type. So this is quite good. It's a debuff. And we get this Ring of Ruin. This is a buff. You paint a circle on the ground, you stand in the circle, and you do critical spells. Pretty cool, pretty interesting. This is the ability unique to the whip. This is Wonder Wall, and what it'll do is it's a slow moving wall of magic that will push back smaller enemies, larger enemies, just not the big boys, and it will deflect spells. And that's the main reason why we are here up in the mountains. So let's go over the moveset. First, this is your normal string. So good range and a very fancy finisher. This is not a charge attack. It's just that, just because. Alright, so charge attack. So this, unlike the wands and the heavy wands, this is actually a fighter weapon. As you can see, you're gonna have charge attacks. So this is your charge attack 1, C1. Press it again, and do some stuff up in the air. That's what you want. Let's do C1, that one. That's gonna pull them towards you. So this and charge. So that is your C2. Let's do C3. 1, 2, and 3. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Of course it is. Alright. And this is your final charge attack. Just all kinds of stuff. 1, 2, 3, and amazing. Alrighty. Let's do the air stuff. Those in the air, and you have an air slap. Slap, 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 and air. There we are. Again, this is our block, as I'll show you in a bit. Can deflect spells. Alright, so let's take a look at the abilities. Now, this is just stuff in the whip tree. We're going to start with Whip Crackle. This is a lightning, just a single target AoE, similar to the Spear's Lightning Conductor. Just one of those. Looks cool. It has good AoE and high damage. So the second one would be Star Strike, and this is actually quite good. You're just all over the place, just whipping it good. Look at that. There we are. Alright, so now let's do the crack. 1, 2, 3. So this is a projectile. Pretty nice. Let's do number 2. And so now we're starting to get a different type of spell. And finally, the final crack, the purest form of the crack here. Look at that. Boom. So that can slow. It's 2 hits. Big AoE. There we are. So, I mean, even the base spell's pretty good, because you're getting a projectile out of it. So, and finally, we're gonna do Accelerator. So this will slow enemies down, like if they're going to spin around, like our certain furry friends, and maybe the dragon when he's dancing around. Let's just give it a... See how slow he is? Look at that. See how he's slow? Normally he'd just charge right into you. Let's see if you can get him to do it. Look at that. See, so that's what Accelerator does. I don't know. Do I want to end him? No. We'll let him live for now. Alright, so these are just the abilities that you're going to get from the whip proficiency tree. So now how does all this work once you factoring in the stuff that we get with the mage? Well, let's do... what do I want to show? Okay, well, gonna want to keep... I don't know how I should show this. I go in there, I'm gonna have to leave. Let's just do it. Alright, so I'm gonna show you the Wonder Wall. Sap. Accelerate. So from here, I would drop Whip Crackle. Stick with Star Strike. You're gonna get that status effect. Has good coverage and can do comparable damage on larger enemies. This would be your fighter spec on the mage, but again, you know, mage isn't that much of a fighter. So what do we want to show? Alright, I'll just do it. I'll just have to leave. Alright. So I'm coming in here because I know that there's going to be these little imps over here, and that's going to allow me to reflect some magic. So here we are. Bounce them back. Nope. Look at that. So you really don't want to be doing it when they're all throwing them at you, because you're just going to get wrecked. Come on now. Alright, so that's that. Now let's show you the Wonder Wall. As you can see, it's pushing them back, and the spells are being reflected, just like that. Keep in mind, this is an ability. It's 24 MP, and you know, it's something that you have to cast. You can push enemies back. So stuff like this, you just reflect if there's one. Look at that. What an idiot. Let's do this again. Just like that. Down, boy. Alright, so let's show you Accelerator on our Yeti pal here. So let's see if we can get him spinning. Look at that. Now he's frozen. Look at that. Okay. So let's see if I can get... Come on. Start dancing. No. Nope. Come on. There we go. Now as you can see him spinning around, moving, dancing. And whiffed. Let's try this again. Come on. Come on. What is he doing? Alright, well obviously this is taking way too long. But you get the idea. Once they start spinning, he's not going to be moving too much. Alright, so let's get out of here. Wow, wouldn't you know it. Alright, so from here, I mean, it's really up to you. Decelerate. I mean, you can get some use out of it. It just slows movement speed. I mean, I would, if I had a choice between Kasap and Decelerate, I would go with Kasap unless someone else on your team has it. It's still pretty good. You may just go... I mean, you could use this. I mean, again, crack is... It's good. I mean, because at the lowest, it's tier 1 version. You got some projectiles. Look at that. So, I mean, it's... I mean, it's still pretty good. Even over... Look at that. Then you just drop the big version. Something like that. Big damage. Okay, well, he's dead. There we are. You bedazzled. Come on. Hit me! Wow. Alright, whatever. We're gonna run away. So, I mean, this is the hardest choice of the mage. It's just how you want to play it here. I mean, crack is still good. You have the nuke on the tier 3 spell. Tier 1, you got those projectiles. I mean, I suppose you could do Ring of Ruin. Just keep throwing all these out. And then you would do your Zap. I mean, you could drop Acceleratal. You would just do something like right there. Drop that. They're not going to get close to you. And you just start casting your magic. Again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Or you can just do your Whip Crackle. But still, I think it's going to be worse. But, I mean, the moveset is good. I don't know. It's up to you. It's really hard to... I mean, I'm always switching them out. I like to keep things fresh anyways, but for this one it's really just how you want to build it. Again, you know, you're still going to run into the Mage HP and defense issues if you want to go a more fighter type playstyle. I mean, you really only have, I mean, it's pretty equal, all things considered. You have 2 melee, and you have 2 spells. 2 melee, 2 spells. You also have 2 debuffs here. So, I don't know, it's really, this would be the wild card class. Wonderwall is nice, but I mean, it's really not that necessary. You could fool around with it, like I was showing on the Yetis, but you know, you just walk up to him and you just slap him around. So it's a tough one. You could use it however you want. Let's just talk about the accessories again. So if you want to go a more fighter style, you're going to run into the HP and defense issues. You could still do the caster. I mean, crack's pretty good. It's, even though it's 1 spell, it's really a 2 spell type of thing with the ice projectiles and the big nuke. So it's up to you. I would, you know, I mean, you're not going to need a lot of the MP, because you're not going to be blowing through it like you would on the Great Wands, you know, where you're just throwing out all those crazy spells. You're not going to need the MP on the wand, because you're not going to have the tension up, and you're not going to be doing empathy to keep everyone else up. So choice is yours. I really don't know what to say. Alright guys, so I'm just going to end it here. I'll see you guys again. Take care now.